And focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, so before we start our session, so I will give some guidelines. So then when you practice yourself, it becomes helpful. So the very important thing I have to mention, because this is public event, and there are a lot of people join with us from Facebook also, and YouTube. So when you practice this meditation, the very important thing, remember, our main purpose is we're trying to come out of the version that from inside our own mind. So then this meditation practice should not build up a version inside you, because you start itself the meditation to come out of this all the tangles. So this cannot become another tangle. So then yourself, because I get some messages from students from different places, and so that's why I want to mention, when you practice, always remember to keep the freedom, no matter what. I know it costs a lot, because losing what you believe, it's not easy for all of us, and give up that what we build up inside, it's not easy, but still it's worth, because as you know, if you look for the inner freedom, or if you look for wisdom, if you didn't get it so far in this journey, the very first thing that you have to understand, whatever you keep doing in this journey, it's not going to work for you. So then you have to completely be free. So when it comes to that freedom, so there are two words, revolution and evolution. So the evolutions happen naturally by time. There are some people think this enlightenment will come to you, freedom, happiness, satisfaction. This will come to you through evolution. Remember, it will never happen. Look at the human history. Through the history of this journey, this timeline, who got the freedom? No one. So everybody day by day get into trap, tangles, difficulties, hard times. So to get into the freedom, or get into your inner liberation, you have to declare inside yourself revolution. In this very moment, without any condition. change. Change who you are, at least when you sit for meditation. So that's why you have a primary mental object. When you come to the mental object, when you observe inhalation, exhalation, with that observation, if you carry this is me, or this is your name, or the form, or your history, or your culture, tradition, it is not the observation. You not observe it very clearly. So then whatever come as a result of that observation, not complete. Why? Because your mind is not completely free. So then when you come to your primary mental object, we observe as inhalation, exhalation. And as example, when it comes to tranquility meditation, there are 40 meditation techniques. So whatever the people use, it's up to them. If the person get into tranquility state, that is the important thing. And then even in the Vipassana, as you know, there are many kind of Vipassana methods people talk about. It's okay. Don't try to get into version. Don't try to get into a pattern. Don't try to get into a culture, or don't try to get into build up a tradition inside you. And try to be free from the thing. Another thing is, don't get into arguments with anybody. This is not for argument. This is just to practice yourself. So that is important. And then when it comes to that, this everything, there are 4 things: Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana. So this all meditation techniques build up with that. So our ultimate goal is getting to the liberation. Chitta, Chaitasika, Rupa, Nibbana. Chitta means the mind. So the mind is all over your body. It has a different categories, but still, just for now, just remember. So we slowly trying to observe and recognize its very nature. And Chaitasika means the thought arise in that mind. And the Rupa is the way that we communicate, the materials that we communicate. And the Nibbana is the liberation. So when it comes to Nibbana part or liberation part, there are 2 things: Samatha, Vipassana, tranquility and the insight. And another way, Chitta Bhavana, and called Panya Bhavana. So we practiced with this both in the beginning, and our primary mental object in observing inhalation, exhalation. There are many other places people observe. Some people observe entire body, some people observe the belly area, and some observe the sensation around the body. So when it comes to tranquility meditation, we calm down our mind using the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So that is tranquility state of the mind. When we go to Vipassana, in the Satipatthana, that there are 4 mental foundations. So in that 4 mental foundations, we observe, we become limited to our bodily experience. That is the important thing, not the outside the body. First trying to recognize what is happening within ourselves. So then always when you observe, when you practice yourself, see your mind is in the past or the future, just bring it back. So when it comes to 4 foundations, observing the body. So the posture and the bodily action. So the behavior of the body. And as example that, so the inhalation, exhalation itself happening as a bodily action. So when you observe the sensation, you recognize the nature of the body. Another thing is, when I talked with you, so this entire, the system happening as a bodily action. Even my tongue inside the mouth, it's moving up and down and create a sound. It's not related with it is the bodily action. It is not with the sensation. If I feel any kind of like a taste, then it go to sensation. So body observing the bodily action. Another one is observing the sensation. And Kaya Anupassana, and the second one, Vedana Anupassana, observing the sensation, recognizing, and the contemplating the sensation. And Chitta Anupassana, contemplating the thoughts, the behavior of the mind, and not go with it, just observing. And Dhamma Anupassana, observing the very nature of the body and how these four elements behave. So, and naturally how this body, as example, according to heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, how the heat go up, how you feel cold, and nerve system, blood circular system. So this kind of activity you recognize. So when it comes to the English meaning, contemplating inhalation, exhalation. So Kaya Anupassana, Kaya Anupassana. So in Pali, when it comes to Pali to English, because the English, they translate this in like very recently. And actually, when you go to the depth of the meaning of the Pali, sometimes it is very difficult to get the exactly right meaning, because in the Pali, Anupassana means you observe and recognize. You not think over it and understand. So that is what Anupassana means, observing and recognizing. And they translate it as contemplating. So when it comes to contemplating, it's kind of like giving idea, oh, you think over it. You just keep thinking. You kind of like trying to understand something by thinking. But when it go to the original meaning of the Pali, it doesn't mean you involving with the thoughts. No, you have to allow it to happen. When you happen, you recognize it. In that recognition, to happen that recognition and to get into that your consciousness, that recognition, you need thoughts. But that thoughts, it's not related with the past or the future. That is the chitta. So that thoughts pattern you need. That is what here mean contemplating. Otherwise, not by thinking. So as example, when you listen this and you hear it and you understand it, it is not your past or the future. In this very moment, what is happening, you recognize it. To that recognize yourself, you need certain kind of thoughts. So that is what here contemplating. So remember that always stay with the present without going backward or the forward. So, and when you get into this four foundation, we go with the inhalation, exhalation, and with the inhalation, exhalation, and mainly our focus to recognize the five aggregates. So that is the important part in Buddhism. Buddhism, not to talk in the beginning, even though that there is outside world exists, it is very important to recognize the inner mechanism. So these five aggregates take us to understand this inner mechanism. So in that five aggregates, the very first thing you get into the form or the matter, rupa. And according to that, the sensation arise. So as mean you have an eye, then some kind of the pictures or the colors come to this eye, and the eye consciousness arise. As a result of that, the sensation arise, the feelings arise, and according to that, the sensation arise. According to that, recognition arise, and according to that, your consciousness arise. So this is the pattern. And even though we talk by words conventionally to understand this, remember Keep this very careful, remember this and listen this very carefully. When these things happen, it not happen step by step. It happen or everything as one. So that's why it is very difficult to see. So as example, the pictures and whatever the form and come and contact with the eye, that contact itself in the middle bring the eye consciousness. So these three things come together. So that's why you cannot separately recognize. And then the feelings, right away, the feelings going to come with it. It's like the shadow. So when the light hit your body, the shadow arises itself in that very moment, not later or not first. The same light, when the whatever come to your eye, whatever sound come to your ear, whatever the aroma come to your nose, whatever the taste come to your tongue, whatever the sensation come to your body, whatever the ideas come to your mind, in that very moment, right away, the contact happen. Because of that contact with these five senses, the consciousness arise. These three things happen as one. And then as a result of that, right away, feelings arise. And as a result of that, right away, the sensation arise. As a result of that, that formations arise. As a result of that, consciousness arise. But the thing is, when you able to slow down your mind, and little by little, in the beginning, it's like when you see something far away, you cannot see it clearly, but you start to see the shape. So like that, in the beginning, you start to recognize this. Rising, disappearing, rising, disappearing, rising, disappearing. So you stay with the sensation, then suddenly somewhere pain arise, then it recognize, it go away, then sound come, then the mind recognize that, it go away. So like that, your mind moment by moment change according to reacting to the whatever the consciousness. So our purpose should be to recognize this change. So when you sit for meditation, whatever the mindset you had, now already gone. And whatever the mind now you experience, also going to go away. This change, if you able to see anymore, you're not going to stuck with it, and you start to go with it. So you follow, you track your experience, you get a mental note without clinging to it. So you experience your bodily, your mentally sensation, but without clinging to it. And you're not going to pull your memory and whatever the previous experience and compare with the moment. So at the same time, you become completely free and without any kind of pattern or the method, with the complete free mind, without any version inside you, try to observe and experience the inhalation, exhalation. Try to stay as much as with the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. We also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. Bring your attention in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times. And find the sensation. Let everything to settle down itself. So in the beginning, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation separately. This is rising, this is falling. And follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Observe the very nature of the sensation. Follow the change. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, this village, this city, this state, this country, this world, and this universe. And as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding ourselves like this. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy. Without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, when we go in this path of the Dhamma, the very realization inside you going to give a kind of wisdom to detach from your own desire. So there is nothing going to change in the outside world. And even there is nothing going to change with your physical world. But in between this outside world and in you, when this connection happens through the 5 aggregates, in between this all 5, there is something that keep this everything together. And then not only that, it's moment by moment, moment by moment. Even though you are not the same person, why you feel kind of like the same person, and why you go into again and again to the same kind of experience in life. There is something like glue, keep this everything together, bound this everything together. So that is, you have to slowly, little by little, take it out from you. So that is called Chanda Raga. So this is what you have to observe. This is what you have to recognize with the change. Chanda Raga means that you have the deeper desire in between this all natural process to hold it, to go with it, jump it to, clinging to, with the self-centered idea. So why this Chandaraga arise? What is the main source? From where it get power? It get power, it believe, it has an idea deeper inside you, there is something outside. And not only that, there is something in you. That is where this arises. Because if you don't believe there is something outside, you not go towards it. And even if you know there is not something inside, you not go towards anything to find it or to cling in. So you have idea, there is something inside you and there is something outside you. In conventionally, that is right. Of course, there are a lot of things outside world. But when it comes to the Chandaraga, that doesn't mean we're going to believe there is nothing outside. And there is nothing inside. There is things outside and there are things inside. Because you have this body itself and you have this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. It's all the 5 faculties and department working so hard with things. And you experience something as life. You cannot deny it. You cannot neglect it. And even from the outside world, there are certain things happen. You cannot neglect it. And of course, there are a lot of things in the outside. And we attach to that. And sometimes there are things disturb us. So then what happening when we practice the meditation? So you recognize there is something outside and you recognize there's something inside. And as you, this body. But in deeper, the attachment happening, you have a permanent idea. There is something solid and exist. That is what that is what you take out through the meditation. You recognize, even though there is something outside, you recognize change. So otherwise you're not going to struggle with, or you're going to stay away from it. You recognize the change of that whatever outside. And once you know it change, even you know that itself you are exist here. You are eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. But still you know that also change. When you build up this understanding in between inside and outside, even though you see something beautiful, in that very moment, that understanding not allow you to have a chandaraga, that's mean that hold it, to clinging to it. You see it beautiful, but deeply you know it's change. You hear something, it disturb you, but you know it change. So like that in the deeply, even though the things happening, the process happening, what is not happening inside you, when you practice this vipassana, you come out of the nandiraga, chandaraga. Why you come out of the chandaraga? Because you know things change. And once you know that, there is no place to clinging. Another thing is that according to our condition, according to our situations, our lives change. So in conventionally, as you know, and people have different kind of lifestyles. And according to the age, according to the society, according to the culture, and sometimes when you change the age, you change your lifestyle. And when you change the culture or your country or your tradition, you change your lifestyle. But the thing is, we don't see even that conventionally that change. We become more attached toward the outside, the surface level of the activities, and we forget to see the change. So inside the same, the moment by moment, this everything change. When you able to see the change, with that understanding, there is no desire can exist. The desire has to go. It's not, you no need to struggle to let it go. When you see the change, when you recognize the change that itself, in that very moment of understanding, the desire drop. When the desire drop inside, you exist, but there is no effort to become. Why? Because you know the change. And when there is no desire to become, no resistance. When there is no resistance, no anger. Hatred, jealousy, envy, you not go towards something and do some kind of demerits or unprofitable action yourself. Why people go towards the unprofitable actions? Why people do go and do wrong things? Because they have a desire to make something happen knowingly. This is right. So from where that arise? And it arise inside, they have a division. This is me, that is that. And they don't see the change. And when you take the very first step, when you take with the wrong view, what will happen? The whatever come to that mind, the whatever come to top of that wrong view, going to be wrong. So then yourself slowly observe little by little, you have to slowly untangle this. With the struggle, with the fight, anxiety, depression, you cannot go into this. So that's why just be calm down, relax. And at the same time, your inner strength uplift to the maximum level. Your mind has certain condition when you practice meditation, remember. Sometimes that conditions arise, it's like getting to a bed. there are four kind of ways. One way is some beds you have experienced, like it is very difficult to get into the bed. It's like a double bed, and it's kind of like you climbing a mountain. You have to go to the higher place. It's not easy. Even you cannot get into the bed, very difficult. Maybe you hit your head on the somewhere in the roof or like that. It is difficult to get into the bed and difficult to get out of the bed. When you wake up, you have to slowly put your leg first down, and then slowly you have to come down. It's coming like you coming down from a ladder, from a very heavy, the higher place. So there are beds like that. And there are some beds, it is very difficult to get in, but it is very easy to get out. Very difficult to get in and very easy to get out. And there are some beds very easy to get in, but very difficult to get out of that bed. Some foam beds, when you jump into the bed, you feel very good. So you are like in the water, but when you try to get out of it, you have to struggle. And there are some beds, it is very easy to get in, and also it is very easy to get out, comfortable. Mentally, the mind, the same situations come to you with the thoughts. It is very difficult to get in, and also very difficult to get out of that mental condition. So as a memory, then sometimes people very difficult, very hardly get into some kind of mental state, but then after that they stuck there. Very difficult to get out of that mindset. So then once something become a habit, it's very difficult. And for some people, very difficult to put it to something and get into some kind of mental the abilities, but they come out of very easily. And some people that get in very easy, and to give up that from their mind, it is very difficult. And for some people, they can very easily get into their mind, and as well as they can go out of the mind and take it out of the mind very easy. So when you practice Vipassana, remember, it's right away, it's very easy for you to get into. That's why you practice Samadhi, tranquility state. Anywhere, when it comes to, when your nimitta become more stronger, and wherever you are, right away you can go into that. You know, when you have a very healthy body, like if you are good athletic, like when you practice like physical activities, especially like martial art and what our teachers told. So within 1 minute you can warm up your body. If you are good healthy person, within 1 minute you can warm up your body. You don't need to go like 15-20 minutes. And also within 1 minute you can cool down your body. So in the meditation also same. Remember, right away you can get into any kind of mental state as ordinary person. And also there is no it going to that hold you mentally in any state. So whatever with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no any desire can hold you. Right away you can able to exist or get out of the mental state. So you not get addicted to that. So develop a method like that inside, keep the freedom to in and out. to wherever, whatever you do, right away, just do. If you have a 1 minute, try to practice within that 1 minute. Go to the bottom of your tranquility state. And also, right away, try to come out. So like that, little by little, when you practice yourself, your abilities, your flexibility become more stronger, more stronger, more stronger. And that way, in the deeper level, the glue that hold it to these mental states going to become weaker. Your Chandaraga, or the desire based this existence, going to become slow down, because that Chandaraga hold you deeper to the mental satisfaction. But when you develop a method to right away to exist from whatever the mental state or the physical state, that wherever you are, whatever you keep doing. So anytime, with whatever the situation, you become more flexible person. So you don't need any kind of time period to mentally stabilize. So as example, there are some people, you cannot go to them right away, tell a bad news, they collapse. So then what you do? You go and start to talk with them. And little by little, by the way this, by the way that. So little by little, you bring the message. You cannot tell them. And there are some people, you can just right away tell them. And there are some people, and it's very difficult to tell them a situation. And not only that, it is very difficult to, once you tell, it's very difficult to take them out from that situation. And month by month, they start to keep repeating that mental state. There are some people, it is very difficult to give the message. You take time slowly. But once they get the message, they forget it. They just come out of that. They become okay later. So be a person, yourself, whatever the mental state, whatever the situation in your life, it is okay to get in. And get in, remember, keep the freedom whenever you want, especially with your mental state. Get out. Don't cling to that. So that way you will see in a deeper level, there is a when you do it with the understanding, and your mind become more flexible, and that flexibility bring the strength to yourself. So with that, and there was the person practiced meditation for a long time next to the river under a tree, and he had a small place, and everyone knew he's kind of like a sannyasi, like a yogi, practice meditation. And he is very careful about his posture, and he is very careful about his technique, and he is so intense regarding his practice. So he used to keep practice, and everybody knew him. And there is another person in the village. He just having a very hard time and doing very much the hard labor things in day-to-day life, and take care of his parents, and take care of his friends and the families, and whatever that he work, and he give his best for that his work, and whatever the people offer him, he accept. So like that, he also had this, and these both characters everybody knew in the village. And then one day there was an enlightened master came, and he had the aura, and by just seeing, you can recognize he's an enlightened master. He had a very, very different, pleasant, very calm appearance and with the beautiful aura. So he was passing by, and then this yogi saw this enlightened master, and he ran and bowed to him and told, I can see you are enlightened. Can you tell me what will happen to me when I can attain to enlightenment? So the enlightened master told, I can see you and you are doing practice very well. You're doing good. Keep going. Within another lifetime, you're going to attain to enlightenment. Just only one lifetime. By hearing that, that yogi was so disappointed. Oh, why I have to carry this miserable life for another time? And I was giving my best for this practice. Why I have to again born to attain to enlightenment? And even himself, mentally, he that inside his mind he start to blame to this enlightened master. Even I don't believe you are kind of like enlightened. So like that, he was so disappointed. And then the boat separate, and then he went to his tree, under the tree, and he start to practice meditation with the disappointed mind. And then the enlightened master passed by the village, and in the other side the village, this poor guy, and he came and he was washing his body. He came to the river and having a bath, and then he came out, and then he saw this enlightened master is coming. It's very beautiful, and the aura shining. So he ran to this master and bowed. And then asked, oh venerable sir, I can see you are enlightened. I have very hard time. And I am doing this all the hard work. And I am having very difficult life. I'm very poor. But still I do my best. Whenever whatever the people ask me, I do my best. And then I don't do any harm to anybody. I take care of my parents. So he explained himself, and is it possible like for us to attain to enlightenment? So the enlightened master told, I can see what you're doing. Keep doing. If you keep doing this for another 7 lifetimes, you will attain to enlightenment. So by hearing that, this poor guy was so happy. Oh, 7 years? Then I'm going to finish this. Oh, then I'm going to attain to enlightenment. By hearing that, he was so happy. And right away, he attained to the enlightenment. So try to digest the story. And what is behind it? What is the moral? So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you attain to supreme bliss of Nibbana. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. So during this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may you attain supreme bliss of happiness in this very lifetime, end of this sansaric journey. May you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbhityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.